Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hear This Little Channel. I am Lygia in October here on the YouTubes. And if you are awesome and you follow me on my Instagram, Art for Lygia, or if we are friends and connected on Facebook, as Lygia Mancia, that is me. But you know what? All of you are awesome, even if we're not connected in any of these ways. I really do appreciate you stopping by and checking out my channel. But I hope you do like and you give me a thumbs up. And hopefully maybe subscribe. I post irregularly, not regular, because I have a whole lot of other things on my plate in my personal life and in also work. While I would love to say crafting is how I make my living, that is really not the case. And so sometimes those things take precedence then here. And again, I don't know what I'm doing here. What's the whole purpose of me making this channel other than sharing what I make, and I explore things along the way, and I try out things, and I am new to this whole art world, crafting. I do painting and I do some crafting, I do gel printing, but I am not an expert on anything. So hopefully you learn something from my mistakes or you pick up a tip. I watched a lot of YouTube channels, a lot of people making their things, and I picked up a lot of things, and that's what inspired me to also pick up certain things. So in any case, it is Thursday, March 12th, per my Skelly, and it is 8:38. I tend to start creating around this time, and every time I say I am going to craft for 1 hour, and that is it, so I can keep this YouTube video short. I don't edit my videos, so you will hear everything, you will catch everything, you will catch my stumbling, but I always tend to go over, so, and I do blab a lot, though I'm trying to be better. So I'm going to set it for 1 hour, though I know that I will probably exceed the 1 hour, but at least that gives me the sense. And I'm going to open up my Coke Zero. I love Coke Zero, and I should not be drinking these, especially on a work night, and knowing that I'm going to have to go to bed in about an hour and a half. But I love my Coke Zero. So, last time I recorded, I made a big newbie rookie mistake and didn't set up my mic properly. This is only the second time, well, with today, the third time I'm using a mic that I purchased, where I hope it picks up better sound, and that's what I thought, but I don't know, I'm still out on it. Kind of thinking that maybe the iPhone mic is better suited, but every time I turn around and my voice is away from the mic on the phone, hear how record. I'm not a professional recorder. Then I sound far away, and so that's what I was trying to do, because I go off and I rummage, talking about what I'm trying to do, and explain to you guys what is happening. So in any case, so we'll see. We'll give it a few more tries. But I am working on a idea project of a art journal that I haven't constructed yet. And I went ahead, sped ahead, jumped ahead, and started making cards to put in that journal. And so these are 5 by 7. they're started off from gel prints. And here, let me go through these, and then I'll show you the ones that I've really worked in them. So these are all gel prints, and I'm working on this one, and I think I'm gonna finish this one tonight. And these are, like I said, gel prints using stencils. Majority are from PM Artist Studio, and they are awesome designers. It's a mother-daughter endeavor, and they also stream on YouTube on how to gel print and other cool projects. So these are the ones I've made using their stencils. They're all gel prints, and some I think are closer to finish, like this one, versus other ones that okay, it looks nice, it looks good, but it needs more, obviously. This one, I don't know if I consider it done. I think it needs more, but these are all go with my theme of an evil forest in bunny ears, because it's not really evil. It's just creatures that live in the forest beyond the fairies and the pretty things. And just because they look strange, or people might consider them ugly, you know, they're still beautiful. Everything is beautiful in its own way. And they're misunderstood. So these are the ones that are just gel prints. I haven't done anything. Of course, this one is just paint, and it needs more, but I'll be doing something with that. And these are the ones that I have added more elements in there. And so my cards are having a story that go along with it about the creatures that live in the forest, and I'm making up stories, right? So I've already talked about this one in another video, so I actually am gonna do some little promo here. Go watch the other previous video, not the 6-minute one, but the previous one where I talk about this one. And then there's this one as well, and also in that previous video. And they have stories, and I'm going to continue making the stories. So yesterday, I did sit down and picked up these two other cards that I thought I was recording. It is actually about an hour and 20 minutes, and really the first 20 minutes I blab a lot, like I probably will on here. And as I created each of these cards and added more to it, I created a story, and so they're kind of all tying together. And so I'm going to spend really just a few minutes, I promise, talking about these two cards. But you can see my sped up version of that hour and 20 minute condensed into a little over 6 minutes, but no voice. But I did insert some cheesy lo-fi music that came along with this app. My whole editing skills are atrocious, so forgive me for that. Don't comment on that. I know I have to work on that, but really I have no patience in editing, and I wish there was something simple to use. And I know that there are tools out there, but I am here today, and I make no excuses. Okay, so these two cards are tied together with beings that live in the forest. And so in this one, I used a stamp from PM Artist Studio that reminds me of the Death Star. When I bought it, I thought that's the perfect, but I had it in my stash for 2 years, I think. Never made anything to center around that. I know it can be other things, right? But that's the thing that sticks to my mind for the moment. And so I added this element, and I also added these two creatures here, also from stencils. and I used a glaze pen, and I made this stencil myself, and use a glazed pen. And this one is also a stamp from PM Artist Studio. So for me, this is about beings, and I don't know who they are. Are they people? I don't know. Maybe they're just little creatures, shadow creatures that live in this evil forest, and they live peacefully alongside these other creatures. This one looks like it has little teeth, but everybody lives in peace. And then maybe the empire is invading their planet, and they're forming a resistance, right? And that is what the empire has tried to spin it to everybody else across the galaxy, to convince them that it is an evil forest and these creatures are evil, but they really are not. So I was thinking that maybe, hey, they're gathering to form a resistance against the Death Star. And we know what the Death Star did a lot. So I'm gonna try to end the story in a positive way. But in any case, right? So here's the forest, right? The foundation is gel print. I used some alcohol markers because my gel print wasn't perfect, and so I colored some of that in. And so this symbol, this right here, reminds me of like wind, or symbol for speech, for speaking. And in the Aztecs Codex, I'm going to reach over here and behind me and grab the example I've been using. Well, this is kind of covered by this ink spot or acrylic pen accident that I had, and I just, whatever. But in any case, these little swirls, you'll see them in the Aztec Codex, and they symbolize wind. So you see them, if you see them in the scenery on the sky, that means there's a lot of wind. But if they are close to the head or face of a character, then that symbolizes speech. And I really like this symbol, and I had almost drawn it, but I had this stamp right here, that reminds me of that. And maybe that's what they're talking. They're having a conversation, or maybe they're I don't know, telling them, get out of here. We don't want you here. Anyways, so that's one scenery, some creatures. Maybe these are shadow people. Because if you know anything spooky, there's the shadow people. And I'm all into all spooky things. So, whole different topic conversation, but look up shadow people. Maybe they're not bad, they're just misunderstood. And so this other one kind of ties to my other card over here of a story I had made up about, this is the forest, the evil forest. And when I put this here, I don't know what I had thought, but the story comes about, right, that it's over, symbolizing the moons, right, the passing of the moons. And these are, you know, the strawberry moons, like they occur here on our earth. And this is a hand that's got a heart filled with love, and it is, but since the creatures of this forest are misunderstood and they're evil, they say that this is the hand of the witch that will reach out to you in the darkness to touch you. And then from there, nobody can ever say what happens to you next, because people never come back to tell. But in this case, I painted her hand pink, and so glammy pink nails, very fashionable. And over here is a little pink kitty. And some people might say, oh no, the kitty is scared. They're trying to hide from the witch. But in reality, he is playing hide and seek because this lady who's called a witch, and really witches aren't bad, it's just the bad rep they've gotten. Of course she has a little friend that is a cat, like I have a cat, and she loves him very much, and so they go out together in the forest and they play in the nighttime under the pink moon. And so the way that I tied it to this is that this guy over here was disguised as a human boy, but he's really a changeling. And the changeling is the son of the good witch, or however you want to say, a being from the forest, and she befriended a human noblewoman, and they became really good friends. And the noblewoman, for whatever reason, she couldn't maybe have kids, and the witch of the forest said, you know what, my son wants to live amongst you guys and learn about you. Can he come and be your son for a time and let him live amongst you so that he can see how other people live and, realize that not all humans are bad. And so he does. He goes to live with this other person, but for some reason he was maybe discovered that he's not really a human, he's a changeling. And so he has come back in his full noble clothing to come back and live in the forest. And along the way, he had taken one of his friends of this little Labubu. Labubus, they're misunderstood too, because some people, not me, feel that Labubus are horrible and evil and scary just because they have pointy teeth. And when they smile, it looks like a very scary grin. But they really are not. They're just lovable creatures. And so he took his Labubu with him. And when he came back, when he left the humans, he brought back his Labubu. And his Labubu learned that there are some bad people that misjudge him. And so he has decided he's going to stay in the forest. And in the forest, he continues to live and be near his companion, his friend. And that's what they do. They go out at night in the forest to go play. And that's why the Labubu is kind of partially hidden. Actually, it was a mistake. It didn't quite come out. But then I thought, let me run with it. And so I did the remainder in black lace pen. That's why it looks like he's hidden, and then the rest in white partially, right? So in any case, that's my stories here for these cards, and I'll be uploading them as well on my Instagram eventually, maybe over the weekend, and write the stories that correspond to them, and I'll keep adding to there. I don't know how often I'll get to work on these. I'll try to record, but like I said, look at that, it's 20 minutes. It always takes me 20 minutes to blab, and I know you guys just want me to go on ahead and start. So without further delay, let me pull up the card that I think I'm going to finish on this one. This one I kind of have a sense of what I'm going to do. And really, probably, this is all that I'm going to have time for, because I've been going to bed really late. And I still got Friday tomorrow to work. And I got something that I need to finish. So I'm going to try to get up earlier and get into the office earlier. I just take them all. I'm going to use, these are some of my pens, gel pens, and finish that up. But for tonight, we're just going to work on this little card. So I'm going to bring a little bit closer. Arthurlegia, you don't need my approval to, you know, be able to look at what I post. It's open to the public. And this one is just exclusively for my art. Don't post, rarely do I ever post anything about my personal life. I have another Instagram account that's just for my personal life. And I only add people that I directly know. My Facebook one, I do add people, but that means that we've established a connection. And by way, it could be, you know, that we've befriended over my Instagram, that we've met each other. I have met some really cool people through there. Or you belong to the Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artist group over on Facebook. And we've established a connection, a friendship, and that's how I've made a lot of friends. And now they are part of my Facebook group. But you know, we all can practice some safety, you know, because there are some crazy people out there. Not everybody's crazy, but there are some, and we want to manage that, right, on who we let into our personal lives. But if you want to connect, Arthurlegia, or coming over, look for the Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artist group. Maybe I'll write it out here. And come join. Come join. Makers of Mixed Media Artists group. So you do have to answer a few questions. It is monitored and moderated by several people, but this group was established by Mariah, and she's got a few moderators, and they are their whole community, right? If you follow on their YouTube channel, PM Artist Studio. But if you join, you're going to meet some awesome people on there. It is moderated, so there is no funny business around, no bullying, no nothing like that. It is supposed to be a very friendly and supportive community, and I've made some really good friends, and I've met some of them in person already, and some I have not, but I've established really strong connection, and everybody who belongs to this group are really supportive, and from very experienced to just starting out and trying to figure this out, you'll find support. So I'm pretty active on that group too. Okay, you got it? Come join. All right, so what am I gonna do here is, this is done with using a jelly roll white ink pen. I don't know how to focus this too close. There we go. From Sakura. They are a little tricky, I find, to use, especially when they're the finer point. I just gotta have some patience, especially when you're trying to do marks over acrylic paint. Slower is better to let the ink flow. So over here, what I was trying to do was just add, see, this is going to require some patience, some semblance of grass. Maybe I'll take you a little bit closer, so, you know, if you like watching grass grow by way of a white jelly roll, this is what I'm going to do. But I think I've been mostly done with this. And, you know, just adding some stuff here because it is a forest and we don't have freshly mowed grass. We let the foliage grow how we want because, you know, they are also living beings. So the trick with these jelly roll pens is to do it slow. When you find, like in this area, that it's, oops, over here in this area, let me see if you can see a little bit closer. When you find that it skips, like here, is because I'm going too fast and I'm pressing too hard. And so right here, I think what has happened, it's gotten a little bit clogged off, so I just go off to the side. I'm doing it off to the side, but I'll do it right here. So try to clear that off, and then I go back, and I try not to go back over that same area because it's still drying and it'll just pick it up and clog it up some more. So I think I've already clogged this up, so I gotta go to a different area, right? So like I said, these finer ones are trickier to use, and I tend to like the thicker one, the medium point, which is the number 10. They tend to flow faster and better, but of course the marks are thicker. See, they're a little bit thicker. Whoops, no, you can't see because I'm too close. But these, I got a better control, but the marks are thicker. So if you want to use a thinner point pen, you got to have more patience. And I don't think you guys want to watch the white grass grow. So I can do that later. But I've already started making some marks, and what I found out, by accident of course, is that these areas, the purple paint lifted. I didn't let it dry long enough on the gel plate, so when I pulled it, it pulled off, it peeled off. And so that's why you see the back exposed, right? And so, but what I found out by accident, and I'm sorry, I just hit the lamp here, is that I'm going to pick out some colors. Alcohol markers stay on the acrylic paint. I did not know that, guys. I did not know that. And it was purely by accident. So I'm trying to find some, sorry, that was my hand hitting the lamp, is a purple that'll match this. I think this one by the cover looks pretty close, but it's deceiving. So I'm going to do a swatch on the back because these are going to be mine. They're not going to be for trading. See, that one is pretty dark. And if I go with this one, blue violet, let's see, what does this look like? Oh, even darker. This one is more on the reddy side, deep violet reddy. More in the red. Yeah, see? Okay, so what I thought was a light isn't really light. So I'm going to pull one of these even lighter looking colors that might be closer. So let me try this one. Royal Light. Oh, that one is better. So we're going to put that one to the side. Let me try this one. Mentha Piperita. Let's see, what does it look like? Oh, that one might even be closer. And then this one is dark violet light. Those names get me. I don't know how something can be dark and light. So dark violet light is this color. Oh, that one is even closer. So I think it's between these. Let me flip it over and see which one comes closer. Maybe I do need to swatch it over here. Let's see. Swatch it over here. Dark violet light. I think I said this one, the Menta Piperita. Or this one. I think this one is closer to that. So I'm going to use the Menta Piperita. I don't know if I am pronouncing it right, but that's the name of it. That's the name of it. Don't come correcting me. Well, actually you can. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to color over this. And it's not probably going to be very close, so I may have to change or layer. Oh, see, this one isn't even, it's too light. Let's try. Something was wet. Let me try dark violet light. Might just be too okay, maybe the darker ones are gonna work. See, I'm still learning on this, but you guys can learn from me. So I'm gonna try this lavender. Okay, that one might be close. Let me try blue violet. Too dark. So I guess I'm going to use this, and let's see. We're going to play by ear. You know? So it already mixed in with the other alcohol marker color. And so I'm just going to, maybe not too much. We're just, we're going to wing it. Anyway, so on this card, the story that I had started over on the Makers of Mixed Media Artist group was, I think I had said that this is the tree that has been standing for centuries, that has witnessed a lot of betrayals. Because, that's the sword crossing a heart, and it's, dripping little droplets of, let's be honest, of a little bit of blood, right? Injury. I need to do it from the other side. And I really need to use these alcohol markers because I never use it. See, some of them are becoming dry. So we got to use them. Use them or lose them. So that is what is happening here. I think that's all those places that was missing. No, I'm missing over here. Let's go with this. Flip it on the other side. So I think I do wanna, or do I want to do an outline along the tree like I've done, like I did with this tree. I didn't do it with this tree like I did it. No, I didn't do it to this tree because I think that was a big contrast right there. I think that is a good enough contrast. I like the little areas where the paint did a little division, right? Or some people say it's crazing. And that reminds me of maybe those are the stars. Maybe I can leave some like that. And then maybe some of these I can color in. So you may have to bear with me and watch me fill in some of these. I'm going to use this light blue glaze pen, and Sakura has discontinued their glaze gel pens because I think they said they can't source or easily find the material needed to make them, so they're discontinued. And I just found that out, and it's been happening for a while. So the glaze pens that I paid for this, I think was like, for a set of 10 of different colors, was $15, and now they're being sold on eBay for $45. Can you imagine that? That's crazy. That is crazy. But there'll be people that pay for it. Hopefully they use them, because otherwise they're just going to sit there and dry up like my alcohol markers that have been sitting there. But probably because they kind of sit under where the heat comes out, so that probably doesn't help. So maybe I got to find a better location to store markers and paint so it doesn't dry up. And these brand Ohuhu, you know, they're not super expensive, but you know, they're on the pricier side than the generic brand of other alcohol markers. And I should use them, because then I get mad when things dry up. Like not too long ago, I was trying to use some paints that I had bought several years ago, and some of the colors that I didn't like as much when I bought them, because they were not the pretty pinks and blues and purples, right? They were more like the earth color, like raw umber, burnt umber, bronze yellow. I said, ew, those are so ugly. But as I've started exploring and working with paint and mixed media, and even in my painting of landscapes, those are the colors for those type of things that you want to paint. And I had tried to find raw umber because I needed it to mix some colors on a painting. I do acrylic, and in this past whole year I've been working just with oil painting. I picked it up, and so I'm working on I'm not going to say it's a landscape, because it's not just nature. It's a painting for a friend of a church in Mexico, from where her parents are from. And she didn't commission me, but she did ask me, because she follows me on my journey of art, if I would paint it for her. And I was pretty honored that she wanted something from me like that. And to be fair, you know, I'm very mediocre, I think. I've been painting for the last 10 years, maybe a little bit more, but really on and off. And at the beginning, it was more off. But in these past, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years, I've been consistent, more consistent in painting at least once a week. and I sign up for painting classes at a local art community center where in the city that I live. And I go there with the mindset that it's my way of decompressing, relieving some stress. Like I tell people now, don't interrupt me on my Saturdays during my painting class, because that is my church time. The church time is for me to connect with myself and whatever else comes to my mind. And I think that has helped me immensely in managing my stress and finding joy even in the stressful situations at work. Whatever else life throws my way, art has been a very good way for me to meditate, because right now I'm blabbing, right? But I think this is therapeutic for me too. I'm talking to nobody really here other than you, viewer, that has come along after I've done this. You know, I'm kind of enjoying it. I don't know why, but I do. Like I said, it's not my full-time gig. But at my age, as I near closer to my retirement, my interest shifted a whole 180. In my younger days, I would be hanging out with my friends all the time. Once I reached the legal age for drinking, you would find me clubbing, going to the bars, having drinks with my friends, going to friends' houses for parties, get-togethers. That was me. And now I'm not. I'm not going to say a recluse, but definitely I am a homebody now. I enjoy my home. I think my home is very inviting. I love it. I love hanging out with my cat, even if my cat just sits across from me, like right now, and is sleeping. I enjoy my company. I think that's important, that we all must enjoy being with ourselves. And, at the moment, and for quite a few years now, I'm not married. I'm not dating anybody. And if you had asked me maybe 5 years ago, I'd be like, oh my God, there's something wrong with me, blah, blah, blah. Let me find somebody, and, But for me, I've had the opportunity to really connect with myself. And I really, really do enjoy being on my own. I love my family, I love my friends, but I don't need to be out and about and talking to them every day. If there's a party, if there's a get-together celebration, I'll go. But usually I'm that person that is one of the first to say goodbye after spending time with the group. While I enjoy their company, I enjoy my solitude. And don't get me wrong, there are times that I'm like, oh, I really do need to be around people. I want to hang out. I want to connect. I want to laugh. There are some friends that kind kind of drifted away because I guess, and I don't blame them. They can't understand why I don't come out and hang out and party. And I'm like, it's not you. It's not you at all. It's just you given the choice. I enjoy doing things like this. I enjoy hanging out with me. I enjoy hanging out with my cat who sleeps across from me and occasionally gets up and comes around for a little bit of loving and then goes back to his little spot to take more snoozes. And that is me. And I don't make any excuses for anybody or no one. All right, I think I'm gonna just put in a few more. If anything, I'll probably do this more on my own, more methodical. This is kind of therapeutic here, and I'm really enjoying doing this. This is what I enjoy. So if you ever joke and say, oh my God, it's so boring, it's like watching paint dry, I am one of those that will be like, oh, we're going to watch paint dry? Yeah, I want to go watch. I want to see. Especially when it's for things like this here. I really do enjoy this. And I could probably spend a few days just filling in all the dots, all the spaces here. And I have done that in the past. It's, like I said, therapeutic, meditative. You can either get lost in your own thoughts or daydream, or like, and I'm not an expert meditator or whatever, or do what meditation is be present in the moment of what you're doing. Be present. Be present. Right? That's what living is about, being present. Whether it's in a big crowd with lots of people, or just with your cat, with your pet, with your dog, with your rabbit. Maybe you got a raccoon, and if you got a raccoon, that's pretty cool. I want to talk to you. If you got a little turtle, a little rat, a snake, a lizard, a turtle, fish, whatever it is. And some people have, tarantulas as pets, all little, I don't call them, I don't want to say they're pets, companion. Your companion, because that's who you connect with. We can establish connections with all beings. Or maybe you're not. You're a plant mama or plant papa. But you connect with a being. And, at the moment, I enjoy connecting with my little kitty cats. Well, now it's just one. I used to have 3. From the most. But then I only got 1 left. So he is the last of the clouder. And even though he's a little clingier now that he's older, and I think he's become that way, as he is now the only cat, and he's always been surrounded by other cats. He comes seeking a lot of affection, companionship, that he used to be standoffish when the other 2 were around. you know, it's all right. Okay, maybe I'll just do this one, the orangey one. I don't think I've ever used this orangey. Oh no, yeah, I have. I don't even know what it looks like. Oh, look at that. It almost looks coppery. We'll do these. Like I said, I really could spend the rest of my hour or the remaining 12 minutes and probably go beyond the 12 minutes just doing this, but that's not what you're here to watch. And actually, I do need to mind this because that's where the rest of my story comes about. So, in this forest of quote unquote evil lives creatures. And in this here, we're going to see one of them. And I'm going to bring him out. It's this guy. And he is the guardian of the hearts. He is there to protect your heart as much as he can and shield you from the hurts of the world, the disappointments of the world. And I think in this scene, he's going to be here. It's going to be inverted, right? Because I'm going to stamp it this way. But I'm thinking here is where he is going to live. Over here. No, I think I want him here. And he is the only one. And he thinks he's the only one left of his kind. And so for eons, he has been alone in his kind. And it's been hard for him to protect the hearts that come upon this tree. And that's why there's this one, this betrayal, this hurt. And he's full of love. See, he's got hearts for eyes. He's got a shining heart. And that's who he's going to be. So, let me see, make sure that this glaze has dried up. So, I'm thinking if it should be, and I got 10 minutes, and I think I'm going to be on time to finish this. And I'm sorry you didn't get to see more of this. I know I talk a lot, and I'm trying to be conscientious about that. Less talk, more art. Talk and art. I should do those two things. I know. But you know what? For myself, I do enjoy hearing other people's thoughts, especially artists that connect with the rest of the world. And I'm going to leave it at that. But I'm thinking whether it should be a white stamp. This one was actually a much whiter white, but I used a stamp that had some leftover ink. I had thought I had cleaned it well, but it didn't. And so it kind of made this a little bit peachy. But it was supposed to be super white. That's why it was called unicorn. But it's not super white anymore, but that's okay. So should it be white, or should I mean, I could still stamp it white, but I don't know if because I've been doing, for some of these, is that I've been doing some embossing powder, and then you get that shininess around there. This was an embossing powder, black. This, the leg. And this one was also embossed with pink embossing powder. And this guy right here, his face, was stamped white, and then I put a clear embossing powder, and that's because it really got shiny. So I could put another silver one and it'll come out like this, which is pretty cool. This. Or let's see, what do I have in my box of embossing powder? Let me bring up the box here so you guys can see and not just hear me rummaging. Ooh, it's a big one. Okay. Some self-made stamps here. So I got these embossing powders. There's a lime green. There is a gold. Oh, this might not be bad. Or I could do a copper stamp and put clear. What is this? Oh, this is copper embossing, but my tree is already copper, so that's gonna overdo it. I could put in a glittery raspberry tinsel, but these dry a little grainy. And see, some of the powder is kind of like a little dull, so I don't know. So that's what happens with these. It might happen the same with this green one. Or I could put a red one. I've not used this red one. Would it look good with red? All right, I got 6 minutes. I gotta make some. I'm not gonna do the hot gun because it's noisy and it's really in my craft room. Maybe, should it be red? Should he be red? Not yellow. He could be silver. I don't know. Silver or maybe gold. Oh, I forgot I have these too. But I think they're a little translucent, so I may need to either put a black stamp or a white stamp. But these are kind of metallic. And we got this green midnight emerald. Maybe midnight emerald. We got a purple. I think that's why I put the yellow moons, because the purple. Or we got this midnight ruby. Might be too dark against that. Or we have Kaiser russet red. I might get lost with that. Copper. Or I got this purple one, which is called hydrangea blue mauve. Maybe. Or this light pink one, stardust candy rose. I don't know how translucent this is. It might get lost. But you know what? Who cares? We're going to experiment. All right. Decisions to make. The green. The mauve. Maybe not this one because my sky is already purple. Or the pink one. I think I'm going to try the pink one. Let's see how it comes out. So I am going to slide these back in. So I'm sorry if it sounds really loud. I did not think about that. And I'm going to need my brush and these, because there's always that extra that lingers. Oh, here's a hot pink one. That was the cat. And here's my black one, my boot that I have over there. And of course I got clear, white. And then I got another one that is clear. One is super fine. Super fine. This is the white one. And then this is just, I don't know what the difference is between super fine and fine. But those are all the embossing powders that I have, and I'm really not buying any more until I use stuff up. So let's put this down here. Oop. Hopefully nothing falls. Okay. I have clear embossing stamp pad, but what I realized is that I don't know if it's just too dry, and I had already done a retouch. You know what? I'm going to do what I did with the Death Star. We're going to use, this is all my stamps too, so my cat is eyeing me, so I think he's going to come over. I think I use soft granite because it's not too dark, but it's enough that it might make things pop out a little bit more. I know I have a darker one here. Oh, see, let me show you how white the unicorn ink stamp is supposed to be. So if you want to keep it white, clean your stamps really thoroughly and use this StazOn. But see, that's how white it's supposed to be. Luckily, I have this tiny one, and I have a refill of that unicorn color. So it's going to be between chalkboard and soft granite. I don't want it really super black. I like this one too. I like all my stamps. I like all of it. All of it. And I never have enough time to use everything. Some things I still have and I've not used them. See, 30 seconds left. And I'm going to go over. And that's fine. All right. So I'm going to try this, the dark one, the chalkboard. And stamp my little buddy really well. Uh-oh, I hope there isn't something that rubbed off there. Yeah, okay, I know, I'm done. It's 9:39, so I'm probably going to be here another 10 minutes. That's the absolute most. And if I make it in 10 minutes, man, I'm getting better at making these shorter. Though I do enjoy the long ones, but I don't think people really stick around to watch it all. Which I'm not offended if you fast forward, so always more than welcome. Fast forward the talkie talk. So I'm going to put him right here, and I'm going to need to make full contact. Ah, shoot. Before I do that, I need to be ready with... What did I use yesterday? I think I used this one to catch my embossing powder and not make a mess and not waste stuff. Okay, maybe I need to restamp it. Who knows if it's been drying out, but you don't need that clear embossing to make your embossing powder stick. You can use a stamp. Just make sure that you understand that if your embossing powder is going to be a little translucent, which is what I think is going to happen with this, you may need something that will make it pop out. Or if that's what you're going for, then that's okay. All right, we're going to put him right here. I don't know what his name is. Maybe we can come up with a name for him. You know, I don't have names for my other characters, but that's okay. People others live in our stories, right? People that we bump in the street that we don't know who they are. People from work that maybe you see often, but you know, you never stop to say hello and say, hey, what's your name? And I need to do better at that at work, because some people say hello to me. And I gotta be better at that. So I'm trying not to wiggle it, but I'm trying to give it full contact here, because sometimes the paper is warped and it doesn't make the full contact if I'm not applying pressure evenly, which happened on, that's what happened to my Death Star. I didn't apply pressure in that area, or enough pressure. I don't want to do an elephant stomp. Maybe I will. Sorry. Okay, ready? Ready, Freddy? Okay. Ta-da! Oh, I think I wiggled it. Yeah, he lost his. Yes, I wiggled it. Or maybe I overstamped it. Oh well. Okay. We learn. I think I need that that darkness. See how pretty that looks there? I hope it comes out that way. All right, let's do this here. And so what I am going to do, this will be the last. And I'm going to go off camera, stop the camera. I'll use the heat gun, get it to be shiny. And then I'll take a picture of it, and this card, the finished one that I do today, will be the thumbnail, so you'll be able to see it before you reach the end of the video. That's the first thing you're going to see. And but I know that I probably am going to come back and do more of that little dotting and work on the grass a little bit more, because I don't think I'm going to record tomorrow. I'm going to finish this card, and plus it's an early sleep anyway for me, because then, let's see, without having to drop it there, I'm going to try to get it back here like this. Ooh. Now maybe I do, because probably it's gonna, yeah, let's, a lot of dust. I shouldn't be inhaling it. I should probably wear a mask when I do this. So that's where my brush comes in, because see where some of that, first I'm gonna tap, tap, tap it, get as much off. All right, that's as much as it'll come off. And then I'll use here carefully to brush out some of this left over on the sides that doesn't belong. I do think that sometimes when you turn on the heat gun from far away, not close, close, close immediately, it blows off this extra. But if I start blowing with the heat gun really close and don't move my heat gun around or away, then this extra on the side does start to, I guess, emboss. Here comes my cat. He may try to get in, be a nosy Rosie, you know, because he needs to see what I'm up to all the time and make sure that my hands are paying attention to him and not at what I'm doing. I probably need a smaller brush than this, but this is what was handy and that's what I picked up. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pick up this because in case I sneeze or the cat comes around, we minimize the mess. So let me deposit it back. Okay, there we go. And then we are going to screw back the top. So if the cat does jump over here, he knocks it over, it's not going to be the end of the world. Still wouldn't be the end of the world if he knocked it all over. But I would be disappointed and annoyed because now I gotta spend time to pick it up. This one, I got smaller little swabs here that I can use to clean up my edges. I got a pointy one here. Here we go. This is the pointy one. Right. So we are going to come here. These are good tools. And I'm sure you could probably get like cotton swabs from the drugstore. I'm not going to tell you where to go shop, but you know where you could find them. We're going to come in through here, clean it up. I don't know if you guys can see that shimmeriness around. That's where I'm trying to do some cleanup. I'm going to go here in between up to his armpit. You do have to have a little bit of a steady hand, so you don't do what I just did there and pull off from where it's adhered to the ink. I'm going to clear a little bit here and here and here. I don't think I'm going to try to create his eyes, but I am going to try to clear off some space here on his face. Oops, I think I peeled off some, and right here where his wings are, not too much. Trying to look at my reference here, the stamp. It's got something there and here, and there's something right here, and then there's something right here, and then there is this one up over here. Let me give it a little bit of better definition there, and then let me go in here carefully so I don't overdo it. And the more we do this, the better we are familiar with our supplies and our tools, right? Oops, let me not peel off a whole lot. Okay, I think that's as much as I'm gonna do right there. This we're not gonna put it back into our jar because this is clumpy now. But I think that's gonna be enough. And hopefully we'll be able to see him. If not, then we're gonna have to think about something, maybe rub something over it so it pops out. So guys, that is it for tonight, and I've gone over 15 minutes from my goal of finishing in an hour. So I'm going to continue to work on this tomorrow. Like I said, put in more little dots with my glazing pen, work a little bit more on the grass, you know, maybe do a little bit more foliage. And I might do my favorite stamping of foliage, which is these flowers right here. I do like it. And I think this might be what brings it in some cohesiveness. And that's what this other one is missing here too, is what I had thought about doing this. And on this one too. No, this one already has that. But they're more like on the black. Oh, and I did emboss those too. But in any case, I'm so glad you came to take a look at my little YouTube video, and hopefully I didn't ignore, and hopefully you picked up something along the way and say, oh, I can make it work better, or you know, inspire you to go do something for yourself. Be you, because this is me, spooky, cute, more on the spooky side, and that's why I'm going to keep making. I don't make the cute things. This is what I make, and it makes me happy, even if it's just for me. So anyways, thank you again. Keep an eye out for future ones, and have a good night and have a good weekend. Bye.